Hi, welcome to part 4 of building e-commerce website using Django. Many people have asked for an update on this series, so I thought I would add at least one video. And today we're going to make it possible to edit the product and also have multiple images on the products. And the first task is to make it possible to edit a product. And to do that, I need to go into views.py in the vendor app to create a new view. Below this add product, add one more login decorator. You need to use this, and then def edit product request. And then below here we need to check if we have submitted the form, just like we did here. So just copy this, and the same thing with this. We can use the product form like that. And if form.is valid, then we can say form.save, because now we have already added the vendor and the slug, so we don't need to add anything more after the save. And when that's done, we can redirect us back to the vendor admin page. And if it's not a post request, then we just want to show the form. And then we can return render request vendor/edit product.html, and I need to pass in the form like that. So that's everything for the view. Now we can import this to the URLs. So we can say path edit product, and then we pass in integer pk views.edit product name equals edit product, and got one too many views there, and save. And see here we are now passing in the primary key for the product we're going to edit. So we need to get it here, pk, and then we need to get the product from the back end. So to get the product, we also want to make sure that we are the user. So we can say product equals vendor.products.all. And I also need to copy this, so we are knowing who the vendor is, like that. But instead of saying all, we can say filter or get pk equals pk. So now we get all of the products from the vendor.products, and then we get this specific one. Now we need to pass it in here at the end, instance equals product, and the same thing here, instance equals product. So we need to do this so we have a data in the front end, so we know that we are on a specific product. And in case we need anything from the product, we can also append it at the list here, like that. So now I can use information about the product as well. So then it's time to create the template. I think I can just copy the contents from add product, edit product.html. Then we can replace the title and that title, and change the title of the button to save changes, like that. So if I now go to vendor admin.html, I just want to add the edit button to the table for the product. So th actions and td ahref, and this should go to URL edit product, and here we need to pass in the product.id, edit, and save. So if I now go here, you see that there are no errors. Great. And I can now refresh. Everything here looks okay. If I go to the vendor admin, I now have an edit button here. So if I try to edit the green sofa, you'll see that everything here is filled out now because we passed in the instance here at the end, or here now. And you can also see that if I want to remove this picture, I can just click clear and it will not be there on the next. And when we save, changed. So I just want to see that this is working. Yes, changed. Perfect. So now we have the possibility to edit products. So I can set this task to done. Before I continue, I just want to say thanks to my Patreons. If you too want to support me, you will find a link to my Patreon in the description below. And then we need to go to the next task, which is make it possible to have multiple pictures for a product. And to do that, we need to go into the product and into models.py. And then I want to create a new model here at the bottom. Class product image and models.model. And then the first field I want here is a foreign key called product. And this is a reference to the product. This should be an image for. And then a related name, images. And if you delete a product, you also delete the product images. And I want one more field, image, which is an image field, and we want to upload this to the uploads folder, and this does not need to be filled out. And then one thumbnail field as well. Great. And then I need to do some of the similar things here to create a thumbnail. So I can just paste in the same make thumbnail function here, which will create a thumbnail based on the image we pass in and the size we have here, and then we return it back so we can save it as the thumbnail. And I can make a copy of this get thumbnail function as well and paste it in here. So every time we try to get this, we just generate a new one, just like we did on the main image. So the functionality here should be finished now, and I can stop the web server and update the database by running the make migrations first. Python manage.py make migrations and Python manage.py migrate. So now we have a new model called product image and everything is okay. So then I can run the server again, and then I want to create a new form for this. Not that, but in here, forms.py in the vendor app. So let's import product image and class product image form model form class meta model equals product image, and the fields we want to use here is image. Great. And when I have the product image form, we can just copy this and go to views.py in the vendor app and import it at the top together with product form. And then we can scroll down to edit product, and here we want to receive the data from this form as well. So here we can say image form equals product image form. We want to pass in request.post and request.files. And then we can check if this form is valid by saying if image form.is valid, and if it is, we want to create a new image object. So product image equals image form.save, but we need to say commit equals false because we need to set the product. And to do that, we say product image dot product equals product, so that's a reference to this one. And then we can just say product image dot save, and then after that we can redirect you back to the vendor admin like that. And we should also make this available in the front end, so we need to create an instance of this product image form, and this can just be empty. So then I can just copy this variable and paste it in here and save. So now this should be possible to use in the front end. So if you now go to edit product.html, you can make a copy of this form. You can add an HR and then h2 class subtitle images. Then we pass in that form and just replace this with image form, and button can say add image and save. So if I now go into this product here, user has no vendor. Okay, I'm logged in with the wrong user. So if I now click edit on this product, I get the images title there and I can upload new images. So if I click this now, try to upload, for example, this image, open, add image, and then I was redirected back here. That means that the image was now added. Perfect. So then the next step now is to make this image available in the front end so I can list them out below this main image. And here we're going to build a simple image gallery using view. But first we need to make the data available in the front end. And to do that we need to find the views.py in the product app. And here I want to build a JSON string called images string equals, and here I use these single quotes, and then I start building the string thumbnail colon, and then I use %s so we can add it at the end, and image %s, and I also want the ID for this, and that can just be main image, and then %s product.get thumbnail function and product.image. So now I can say print images string. We can look at it here in the console. Just need to refresh. And here you can see the whole string for the main image. But I also want to append the new images we added. So at the line below, I can say for image in product.images.all images string plus equals, and then I add these parentheses, and in here I can just make a copy of this one and paste it in there. And instead of saying product.getThumbnail, I would have to say image.getThumbnail, and here image.image. But that's also wrong because it has to be image.image.url. So we get the whole path to the image. So if I now try to print this again, print images string, refresh in the front end, and go back here, you'll see that it's much longer now because now we have two images. Also want to fix that instead of using this ID here, we use the image.id. So we can get a unique image in the front end. And then we just need to make this string available in the front end. So we go to this context, images string, then we add these square brackets, plus images, plus, and close the square bracket, so we make it a list string. But we also need to remove, I need to add the comma there first, but the last comma needs to be removed from this string, so here we can say r strip, passing comma, and save. So now the thing in the backend should be ready. And now we can go to the product.html and get the information there. At the bottom here we had a new block called scripts and block. And then I want to make a JSON object of that image string so we can use it in the view script. And to do that I just write this line images string, pipe it into a function called JSON script which comes from Django, and then we create a new object called JSON images string. So if I save this now, go to the browser, and if I then just inspect this element and go to the bottom, you'll see that I have a new script ID, JSON images string, and this contains the JSON for those two images. So then we just need to include view, and that is a simple script tag, https npkg.com/view@next, which is the address to view 3. Then we can create one more script tag, and const product app. This is a view app now, and we want to have a data array in here. Return. Here we want the main image. It can just be a string, and images can be a list. And then we need to mount this to the ID we haven't created yet. So here we can say div ID product app. And close that at the bottom there. I forgot to add an equal sign there. And then we need to mount this using view. And you do that by saying view, create app, product app, which is this one, and then mount it to this ID. So everything in here should now be connected to view. If I save now, just want to see that I don't get any errors. No, and you can see here that we have included view. So the first thing I want to do now is to make sure that the images here are connected to this one. And to do that, we need to go into a lifecycle called mounted and say this.images equals json.parse document.get element by ID JSON images string, which is the object we create here, and we want to get text content from this. Great. And then we want to set the main images, or the main image, to the first in this list. So this.mainImage equals this.images, and now we get the first one in that list. The problem now is that we need to double JSON parse this. I'm not quite sure why, but this is everything we need to do to make this work. So if I save now, there shouldn't be any changes, but we can remove this URL and use the main image instead by saying :src main image dot image. Sorry. So if we now go back and refresh, get an unexpected token. Yes, the problem now is that I have a missing comma there. So I think the problem is that in the images string, after we build the main image, we forgot to add a comma. So if I refresh now, this is now coming from view. Perfect. So then the next step now is to list out the thumbnails below here for the other images. If we go to product.html, then below the main image we say HR. First we can actually check if there are any images by saying if product.images.all. Now we close this and if. And then in here is a div class columns. Div class column is 2, so it's very narrow. And here we want to loop through the images from view by saying v4 image in images. And to make this unique, we say vbind key image.id. And then in here we want to say img::src to bind this image to the one we are looping through, image.thumbnail, and save. So hopefully now there should be an error. If. So now we get these two images there. Great. So then it's time to make them clickable. So we do that by saying @click change main image. Now we just pass in the image we are on. So now we just need to make this function at the bottom of the product app. Methods. We want to get image there. And then we just say this.mainImage equals image. Refresh. And if I click this, this changes now to that. And back and forth. Perfect. So then we have the functionality to have multiple images on a product. And that was it for this part. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please click like below. See you in the next video.